The new FCC chair has just reversed a new rule that would allow internet companies to be able to provide low-cost internet to the poor. Now, the move that was announced Friday by FCC Chairman Ajit Pai reverses a decision by his predecessor Tom Wheeler that would affect 9 different companies who were planning to offer affordable internet to low-income households. Now, in a statement after reversing this rule, Pai called the initial decision, quote, a form of midnight regulation. Because they would know all about midnight regulation. He said these last-minute actions, which did not enjoy the support of the majority of commissioners at the time they were taken, should not bind us going forward. Now, let me give you some details about this program and why it was defunded. Now, it was called Lifeline, and it provides registered households with a $9.25 a month credit, which can then be used to buy home internet service. I assume at a vastly reduced price. Now, as many 13 million Americans may be eligible for Lifeline that do not have broadband service at home. The FCC found roughly 900 service providers participate in the Lifeline program. Now, one of the companies, Kajit Inc., I love this, that had been initially granted permission to provide service through Lifeline, is objecting to this new reversal. Now, can I just do this little aside here? Kajit Inc. This one approves of that name. If you get it, you're awesome. Now, he said, the Kajit founder, Daniel Neal, said, I'm most concerned about the children we serve. We partner with school districts, 41 states and the District of Columbia, to provide educational broadband so that poor kids can do their homework. So, look, that's obviously super important, right? Because look, this seems to be an essential service. You want people to be educated, and look, there are still poor people not having access to a computer or reliable internet, and there's a lot of online coursework now, and so kind of like having an internet connection is kind of required in this day of age. It's almost like having a car at this point. Now, of course, high-speed internet is something a lot of us take for granted. So to reverse a rule that makes it more accessible, it's going to end up hurting those poor people who wouldn't have it otherwise. Now, Pai has claimed that he wants to, quote, close the digital divide, and has made this his central axis of his policy agenda. Now, what is the digital divide? Basically, it's a term that describes the gaps in U.S. broadband penetration, particularly among seniors, minorities, and the poor, the people who can't get this internet service. Now, the new move, however, reversing this rule, actually makes the gap bigger because it will make it more difficult for low-income Americans, the elderly and the poor and minorities, to access the internet. Now, you have a quote by Gene Kimmelman, who's president of the consumer advocacy group Public Knowledge, saying, quote, the most obvious fact in our society is that high-speed internet is astronomically expensive for the middle class and down. Yes, it's incredibly expensive, and that might have something to do with the regional monopolies. Having one or two cable or internet providers in one area leads to not a lot of competition, which of course leads to higher prices. Now, he continues, So in any way limiting the Lifeline program at this moment in time exacerbates the digital divide. It doesn't address it in any positive way, which I agree with. So why is the FCC commissioner doing something to reduce access if access is one of his goals? It seems a little counterintuitive to me. Well, according to the decision revoking the 9 approvals, this would promote program integrity by providing the FCC with additional time to consider measures that might be necessary to prevent further waste, fraud, and abuse in the Lifeline program, despite no evidence that there is widespread abuse or fraud or waste. But look, I hear those 3 words put together, instantly I know that that's the go-to language when Republicans want to cut a government service. This might be the first step in rolling back a program that helps the poor have access to technology. And remember, Lifeline doesn't just deal with the internet. It deals with other technological stuff as well. And of course, anything that goes to helping the poor do anything, well, it has to be eliminated because, well, waste, fraud, and abuse. It's waste, fraud, and abuse. Well, what about all the waste, fraud, and abuse that goes in the military? Or all the waste that goes into corporate welfare? Any of that important? No, of course not. We're not worried about that kind of waste, fraud, and abuse. No. We're just worried about the stuff that goes to poor people. Because fuck poor people. Look, spending money on giving poor people credit so they can get online, to, I don't know, get information, do their schooling online, or even look for jobs, that is now somehow no longer a priority now that Republicans are in office. It seems like, I don't know, maybe they want to keep people uneducated and without opportunity. The very opposite things that they espouse, the things that they say they want to do. And look, Ajit Pai is the same guy who wants to kill net neutrality rules, which is actually going to prevent ISPs from slowing down content that they either don't agree with or belongs to a competitor. So, look, his priorities, it's not to end the digital divide or to help Americans increase their access to broadband or the internet or anything like that. No. His priorities are simply doing what the donors tell him to do. The big telecom companies. And those priorities do not include helping poor people. If you think they're on your side, they're not. They're looking out for their own pocketbook. And that's what this is about. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.